What to do now versus later. It is myOrganized.life live. April 17th, 2018.
Hello.
Hey, you're back.
I'm back.
Yesterday I was soloing.
You were what? Oh,
soloing.
Soloing.
I sang a song. You should go back and watch the replay from yesterday. It was actually pretty good.
I was gone. I am Leanne Thompson.
And I am John Hunt. This is myOrganized.life live, the show where we give you organizing tips, advice, and more importantly, get your feedback.
Right.
Questions in the comments. Yeah. Comments in the comments. Where you're watching from
in the comments. Thumbs ups.
Thumbs ups. The little hearts, the little loves.
Yes.
Whatever social activity you like to do, but that's what we strive for that every day.
I missed our show yesterday. It was bummed out.
Why didn't you tune in? You know, it's live on Facebook every day at 2 p.m. Central.
I know I was busy. I should have had it on in the background, but I was prioritizing my things.
You were you know what? That would be a great topic for
today.
For today.
I know. See, I knew we were talking about this today. That's why I had some firsthand experience yesterday.
Except yesterday you didn't prioritize doing this show. You prioritized staying at home.
I know.
To do things. But I guess you have to do that sometimes too.
Sometimes you just need a day at home to just get stuff done alone.
Yes. Okay, in the comments, I want to know, how hard is it for you to stay on task? You know you have a bunch of things to do, but you can't do them all in one day, right?
It's impossible.
So that's kind of what the essence of today's show. Actually, it's an article that you can find at smead.com, and if you type in the word prioritizing what to do now
versus later,
later, put that in the search bar, it'll pull up the article. But this article just gives you some tips on how to really I think feel good about what you're doing, because we all know, we're just going to admit right up front, we can't get everything done that we have to do, right?
Right. Correct.
So, but we know we can get some stuff done.
Yep.
And some can get done now and some can get done later. So
hence the title of the article.
So let's talk about prioritization though. Okay. What are priorities? I mean, isn't everything a priority?
Well, we've talked about this before.
We have.
And I believe you said everything can't be a priority because then there wouldn't be any priority.
That's right. And I think there's something about the root of the word. One of my kids were telling me this from English class, that priority, you can only really have one priority. Yep. Otherwise, you can't have two priorities. But we use that word prioritize a lot. So.
And this article focuses more on business related.
Yeah.
So
well, I think we have a lot of business, or at-home businesses too that watch. So let's talk about what would be some business priorities.
Well, things that affect the bottom line.
Okay, well, that's always important.
Right. Things that are going to move you ahead professionally.
Yep.
So since I wasn't here to do the show yesterday, it wasn't my priority. You're probably not. You're thinking I'm like down on the list now because I didn't put this show ahead of my.
3 strikes and you're out. You only have one.
Okay.
So, okay.
And then things that are within your power to accomplish.
Okay. Well, and again, I think we all have lots of things that we're kind of put together. So, so what about though? Here's what happens. Okay. You get this list of things that you want to do. Maybe even prioritize it. Then you have an emergency. What do we do about emergencies?
Well, I guess they come up, right?
I think emergencies come up. Actually, like yesterday was an emergency. You weren't planning on being gone Monday, were you?
No, I wasn't.
No, so okay.
I wasn't. I texted him. I was like, I'm not going to be in. Can you do the show solo?
It wasn't really an emergency, though, was it?
It was almost an emergency. See, it could
have been an emergency.
I was in Florida over the weekend.
Yes.
And my flight got canceled because of the blizzard up here.
Yeah.
And I ended up going to a different airport and flew home. But I thought for sure I was going to have to be stuck in Florida for another day.
Was it at 80 degrees? Yeah.
Well, actually, it rained after I left. My friend said.
Isn't that what I did? You texted me then. I said,
enjoy the sunshine.
Yeah, what a hard problem to deal with. Gosh.
Yeah,
okay.
I know.
So let's talk about some of the things that we can do. We have a few tips, right?
Well, yes, but so deal with the emergencies, but they also can bombard you.
Yes, they can.
So sometimes it's easier just to get those things done in a hurry. Mm-hmm. But if you do that all the time, then you're not going to get back to your main objectives of the day. And then you're going to leave work and you're going to think, gosh, I didn't get anything done that I needed to get done. It was all these little things. So
I bet there's a lot of people out there.
If it's really an emergency.
Yeah. I bet there's a lot of people out there too that work in an environment where it seems like everything you deal with is an emergency. Mm-hmm. And some of that is in managing, but
Yep.
I think you have to manage the emergencies just like you do anything else. And of course, things come up, you have to get them done, but you need a plan to deal with that.
Right.
So,
Yep.
But let's just talk in a broader sense. What's the first step in dealing with all these things we have to do?
The first step is capture everything that you have
Okay.
to get done. So
Yeah.
write it all down.
Yeah.
Don't think that you're going to remember everything because you can't.
David Allen, in his book, Getting Things Done, talks about a mind dump.
A mind dump,
So you just
okay.
keep writing, anything you can possibly think of that you have to do. You keep writing until you can't think of anything else, and then you keep that pad there
Yep.
because you might think of something 5 minutes, oh, there's one more thing, and you keep writing it down. But then his concept is you get it off your mind, then your mind is not going to sit there and worry about forgetting something because you have everything down.
Yep. Right.
That's good.
So get everything out on paper.
All right.
Separate your things to do now with the things to do later.
Yeah. So maybe instead of prioritizing yet, we're just two piles.
Yep.
We know there's things that kind of have to be done, and some of that I think is going to be by deadline too, maybe.
Deadline or if you're waiting for somebody to get back to you on something,
That can be done later.
put that in the later pile. Don't
Okay.
have it right in front of you.
All
Just
right.
know that you're waiting for somebody and it's there
Okay.
when it gets
So
back.
two piles, to do now and to do later. All right.
Yep. There's also maybe on hold
Yeah.
things, so that's also in there.
In the later file.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay. Then keep a short list of priorities for each day.
Okay.
So look at your
So you
laundry
you
list.
look at the to do now list,
Yep.
and still probably realize you can't get all that done.
Right.
So that's where the prioritization. You pick 1, 2, 3 things maybe max, right?
Yep. Right.
You can't say, well, I have 10 things I'm going to do today. Maybe you can get 10 things done, but you want to just, you can always add something later, but
Right.
you want to at least have 2 or 3.
Especially, you don't want to schedule too much because of those emergencies that come in.
They come in, right?
You have to make time, schedule white space.
Yep.
So when you come to me with a project, I can
Right.
set something aside.
You
and,
can just immediately put everything
Yep.
aside that you're working on and do what I say. Okay, you
Exactly,
did that.
yep.
Good.
and for your bigger items that you have on your to-do list or a priority, you have to manage those in smaller chunks.
Yeah.
So you're not going to put write a book on your list. It's going to be write the introduction to my book
Right.
or write chapter 4.
What is your book going to be on? I'm kind of curious about
Oh
that.
gosh, that's a good one.
Yes. How to deal with a 3-year-old and a 8-month-old, is she?
She's 9 months.
9 months. Oh gosh.
Yep,
yes, you could
probably.
probably sell a lot of copies of that.
Aren't there already a million
Probably,
copies
yeah.
out there of somebody's book?
Yes.
I should think of a book title though.
That would be good. Yeah. At least and that's what most people say they're going to write a book. They have the title.
Yeah.
That's all they have.
I don't even have
Yeah,
that. I should
like,
think of one.
Yeah. Living
What
in
would
the
your
year.
book be?
Mine would be Living in the Year 2018.
Oh,
Wouldn't that? Because I think it'd be a popular book because
Mm-hmm.
everybody who's living it's the year
Yes.
2018. So there'd
Okay.
be something for everybody in that book.
and then 20
If you
years
like
from
the
now,
concept of that book, put it in the comments and maybe I'll actually write that.
and 20 years from now, someone will look at that and say, "Jeez,
Jeez,
what are
what was it?
smartphones? And
Yeah. What's fake news?
what's Facebook? What do
Yeah.
you mean by those hearts and
Yes.
smiley faces?"
That's true. 20 years from now, it's kind of interesting if Facebook is still around. This show will still be archived.
Yes.
You can go back and say, oh, look what those guys did.
And I'll
20
say, "Look
years
at how young I looked."
Yes, yes. Okay.
Okay.
We move on. Is there
Yes.
another point? 'Cause we covered-
Nope, we did keep the short list
Oh.
of priorities. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, number 4.
Yeah.
Schedule your to-do later items,
Yeah, so you don't want to just put them on a to-do later and then never do them. That's
Nope.
called delayed decision disorder.
which we talked about a few
Yeah.
weeks back.
Yep.
So
that-
maybe mark it on the calendar if you have a due date of May 15th.
Yep.
You don't want to set your reminder for 15 minutes before
Right.
that hour appears. Maybe schedule it for May 1st.
Yeah.
Say, "Hey, have you started this project yet?"
Yeah, and maybe it's on a day that you're maybe a little less busy. It's a Friday afternoon
Yep.
or whatever it is, and you can say, okay, I'll at least attempt to do it then. But you don't want to the whole idea is not just to do all your now items and never do your later items.
Right.
Because
Yep.
you probably will also move those later items into now items.
Because eventually the date is going to
Yeah.
come up. Maybe, I know some people probably don't want to hear this, but maybe try getting to work or starting work just a little bit earlier
Right.
before people come in and just grab a lot of stuff and get that done then.
Right. Yeah.
And then later is when the emergencies start coming in when everyone's
Yeah.
around.
Yeah, I think in one of the podcasts on time management, we talked about the idea of don't open your email right away. Wait like an hour. But no one can do that. People are looking at their email right when they get out of bed in the morning. They can't wait to see who sent me an email at 3 in the morning.
What junk mail do I get today?
It's probably something like, Macy's, 25% off. You've got to be kidding me.
Or it's the SMED newsletter, which in that case they should open right away.
Yes, if that is one you do not want to wait.
No,
that's the to-do now item.
Yep, exactly.
Okay, wow. Well, anyway, that's about it, I think, for...
I think so. That's the end of the list.
I think we're going to have to do the rest of the things we were going to talk about later.
Yes, exactly.
Right. And speaking of later, tomorrow is Wednesday.
Yes.
Part 2 of Leslie's podcast on how to get organized for a test or exam.
Yep.
Talking about kind of different learning modalities and things tomorrow,
it's a
which is kind of fun.
Pretty good podcast.
Yeah. And then we don't know yet about Thursday, do we?
No, we don't.
That may be
moved
around. But that may be we may be doing Thursday later and doing something else Thursday.
Correct.
We'll just leave you in the lurch on that one.
Leave you
and
hanging.
Then Friday we'll do Blogger Roundup.
Of course.
Of course, because it's Friday.
If you have any blogs that you like to read, send them my way or put them in the comments.
Put them in the comments. I think that's the best way to...
Comments are fun.
Yeah, and we do come back and look at the comments later on as well.
Right.
And if you can't watch this show live at 2 p.m. on Facebook, Monday through Friday, except the days when we're off, then you can watch it on YouTube, on smeed.com, myOrganized.life, wherever you can catch us.
Yes.
You'll be able to see this, right?
Yep, that's
Great.
true.
Well, that's it for Tuesday, April 17th. If you don't have your taxes in, you still got a few more hours before midnight, right?
Oh, that's right. Yes. Did you get yours in?
I got my extension. I do that every year.
All
so
right.
that's life.
Good for you.
All right. Well, we'll see you next time on myOrganized.life live.